As the economic marketplace becomes more dependent on international trade, what's being done to ensure students are prepared to contribute to an increasingly global society? For the next few minutes, we'll discuss. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Robert Traynham, and I'm joined by Congressman Cuellar, Democrat from Texas. Congressman, welcome to the program.
Robert, it's a pleasure seeing you
Always
again.
good to see you. You know, we continue to hear from the president, from our elected leaders, such as yourself, that says, you know what, Americans are the best in the world. If you give us the tools, if you give us the ingenuity, in fact, we create the ingenuity, we can compete with anyone else in the world. However, according to some statistics in a recent article, although we possess the literary skills, meaning Americans, we are far below the top performers. In fact, 22% of Japanese adults scored in the top 2 of 6 rungs in literacy tests. Fewer than 12% of Americans did. How do we compete in a global marketplace with these type of numbers?
Well, first of all, we got to realize one thing, is that this world is becoming more global in the sense that the competition is not between the state of Texas or Florida or New York. It's really the United States versus other countries. And therefore, even though we're #1 in many areas, in some areas we're getting behind, especially when it comes to education. We got to keep in mind that in order to be competitive in the global market and international business, we got to do better in education.
And is it education in general, or is it specific types of education? The reason why I ask this question is because we keep hearing about science, technology, engineering, and math. And I have to confess, you know, I was not a great math major, but now I understand the importance of math and arithmetic and science and technology. Is that where we really need to focus, sir?
Yes. First, you know, we do got to go into the STEM, the science, technology, engineering. Those areas, mathematics are so important. But keep in mind, there's 2 things. One, let's look at our public education, and then let's look at higher ed. If you look at it, we need to do a lot of work in the public education area. Once we talk about college, our colleges are actually doing pretty well. That's why we have so many foreigners coming in, people from other countries coming in. But at the same time, we got to do a better job to get our kids into those areas like STEM. As an example, in some areas in Texas, as an example, just using Texas, 65% of the students in some of those graduate STEM programs are people from other countries. Therefore, we got to do better to get our homegrown students into those areas.
It sounds like it may be a cultural thing. And the reason why I say that is because you mentioned it twice now. There are a lot of individuals from outside America, this country, that come here because we, quite frankly, have one of the best educational systems in the world at the secondary level. The question from a cultural standpoint is, do you believe that it is instilled upon us at a very young age, perhaps with our parents or perhaps with our elementary school teachers, that science, technology, engineering, and math are important, and we need to learn this now? Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, and I think we're now pushing a lot more to get our kids to go into STEM. Like, for example, I do an event, I've been doing it for the last couple of years, where we do an event where we now go to our schools and we bring in companies, NASA and other folks to come in and talk to them about STEM. So we got to do more to make sure that we talk about STEM where the little kids are bright-eyed, ready to learn, and that's the emphasis we need to do.
Congress, we have about 40 seconds left. For the viewers that are watching this program at home, whether they be in Texas or Florida or Pennsylvania, wherever they may be, and their parents, what else should they be doing to educate their child and to raise the educational standards? And what type of expectations should they be looking for from their teachers?
Well, I think as parents, as organizations like CHLI and our good friends Mario Díaz-Balart and other folks are working together to make sure that we emphasize this. We need to make sure that they understand that the competition is not across the street. The competition is across the world, and we need to emphasize STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math.
And of course, all this has to be done on a bipartisan basis here in Washington,
Bipartisan by far.
Thank you so very much for joining us, sir. Really appreciate it.
Robert, it's always a pleasure.
All right, and thank you for joining us for this edition of Comcast Newsmakers. I'm Robert Traynham. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.